Today I'll be teaching you simple steps to make sourdough bread. We'll be using simple ingredients: wheat flour, bread flour, sourdough starter, kosher salt, and water. You start off by weighing your bread flour to 400 grams, then your wheat flour 100 grams. Add both those flours into a bowl, then weigh your sourdough starter 4 ounces. And we will be using filtered room temperature water or warmer water. I have it at 102 Fahrenheit. Finally, you add 0.55 or 15 grams of kosher salt. Add that to your bowl, then you're going to stir it with your bread flour whisk. Because I'm recording with one hand, I'm whisking it softly or slowly, but you can do this a lot faster. As you can see, the dough does get a little sticky and harder to whisk. So that's why you need both hands actually. Finally, once you've incorporated all the ingredients, you're going to wet a cotton cloth. Make sure that you're using filtered water for this. Drain it as much as you can and add it to the top of the dough so that the dough doesn't dry out. Once you've covered up the dough, you're going to use either saran wrap at the top of the bowl or a grocery shopping bag. And today that's what I had in hand, readily available, so that's what I used, a grocery shopping bag. You let this sit in your kitchen counter for 30 minutes. Then you will begin doing your fold and stretch. You have to stretch all 4 corners every 30 minutes. When you're working with the dough, you have to rinse or wet your hands with filtered water to avoid the dough to sticking to your hands. I like to loosen up all of the edges first before I remove the dough and stretch it out as much as possible without ripping or tearing, just enough to do my first fold. That's my first fold. I turn my container, fold it long ways, turn, fold it again. The more folds you do, the tougher the dough gets. Totally normal. And again, you repeat this process 4 times, 30-minute wait time in between. Cover it back up with your wet towel and back in the grocery bag. After you're done with the 4 rounds of the stretch and fold, you're going to flour your countertop with all-purpose flour. Then you're going to wet your hands again with filtered water before you handle the dough. Again, because at this point it's even stickier. Make sure you loosen the dough from all around the edges to make it easier for the dough to come out of the glass container. Once you've removed it, I like to stretch it out like a pizza. Again, you want to do it lightly so that you don't rip the dough or make any tears. I call the top side the pretty side, and that's the side that you're going to lay on the counter where you have your flour. Then you're going to fold over again, and then roll it. And then you're going to roll it towards you to hide both of the edges. Once it's rolled into a nice tight ball, you're going to flour the top of the dough as well as the basket that you'll be putting it in. The reason why you want to flour your basket is so that the dough doesn't stick to the basket. Make sure that it's well floured all around, including the center. Okay, once it's all floured, I like to use one of my spatula things to help me transfer the dough over to my panettone basket. And you want to flour the top of the dough as well. I tried pinching it to see if it would stick. It didn't. You can omit this step. Just simply flour the top. After it's floured all the way around, you're going to grab a clean cotton cloth, dry cloth, place it over your dough, and then put the entire thing on a new or dry plastic bag.
Stop moving it so much.
You can refrigerate this overnight or anywhere between 3 to 16 hours. I like to do this overnight. The next morning, you remove it from the refrigerator, pierce it with a knife, do a maybe 1 to 2 inch deep, and then bake it for 425 degrees, 40 minutes, then with the lid off.